So I'm 𝗪𝗵𝗁 𝗍𝗃. So I'm a full-time functional consultant working for an IT organization, and teaching is my part profession. So I'm into this particular teaching as well. From the past 2025 was completed, I will complete my 8 years of tenure in teaching as well. I started in 2018 January. Okay. So earlier I was associated with some IT companies for giving the training to their in-house employees. So on this Dynamics 365 supply chain management, trade and logistics. So later on, I have associated with a couple of institutes. Right now, I'm working with Visualpath for this training related thing. Okay. So, and I have started my career in 2014, and I hold an experience of 11 years of experience in this platform of ERP. So I've started my career in earlier versions of Dynamics 365, which was AX 2009. And then I have worked on AX 2012. I mean, these are the previous versions, I would say. So, and I have started working on Dynamics 365 again from 2018. Okay. So this is about me. And for today, we have an agenda for today, Dynamics 365 supply chain management related course. So instead of reading what are the topics that are going to be covered in this demo, I prefer to cut short this and to give you an agenda. So point here is, what you are going to learn in the sense, an introduction to the Dynamics 365. I'm going to explain that. And if you take up this particular course, what you are going to learn. Okay, this is one thing. And how long this particular course will be. And if you take up this particular course and if you enter into an IT organization, what will be your role and what will be your responsibilities? This is what I'm going to tell. And a brief introduction on what are the topics that we are going to cover in this particular course. So usually I'll start my demo session with a particular question. It's not, I don't prefer like a classroom training. I mean, like one person is saying and all the other people are listening. It will not, my sessions will not be like that. So I used to keep on asking the question so that the opposite person has to analyze and give an answer. It's not a mandatory that all the people have to give an answer, but the reason behind asking the questions is the functional consultant. The role, if you learn this particular course and if you get into an organization, your role will be a functional consultant. The first and foremost quality that a functional consultant should have is a good sort of analyzation about a situation or a thing or a particular product, anything. So analytical skills are much more required for a functional consultant. So I would like to bring you, or I would like you people to start analyzing about the points that we are discussing over the classes. So was the reason why I keep on questioning in the classes or in the demo sessions as well. Okay. What happens in IT or IT industry? So for me, of course, everyone know about IT, what it stands for. IT stands for
information technology.
Right. So my question is, what happens in IT organization? So I would say that in IT, only what are the activities or what the IT people are doing. I would like to, I know as per the knowledge I have, I would like to categorize it into two ways. One is using the information, IT industry or IT people will sell the technology. I'll repeat it again. Using the information, IT industry or IT people will sell the technology. Here, the information refers to the customer related business. See, whatever the task or whatever the work that we do in an IT organization will be done with a heading called project. So what is a project? A set of tasks which will be done by a single person or a group of persons within the stipulated time that we call it as a project. Okay. So now here, I'm saying that using the information. So the information here, it will be referred to the customer business related information. So software, we are selling it to some person based on some purpose that is for their business. Obviously, 99% it will be the reason. So if we come to know the reason why the customer is looking for a software, then only we will be able to build the software for them. Correct. So by here, the information related to the customer business related information. By knowing that information, we in the sense IT industry or IT people will sell the relevant technology. Okay, so a software license will be sold to them. So this is what the IT people are doing. Okay, so this is one phase. By the way, this first phase we call it with the name as implementation projects. Implementation projects means we will build a new software, or by taking the existing application or a software, we will customize it according to the customer requirements. Okay, so that is one area, and the other area is we will provide support or service or assistance to the uh, people who has already a software built for them. We call that as managed services or support project. Okay. So in this, these are the two areas. One we call it as implementation project, and the other one we call it as support projects. So two things will be there in the IT. So I'm not saying that whatever the operations that are being carried out in IT will all come under those two categories, not like that. So I would like to say 70 to 80% of the works that are being done in IT are referred to this particular two categories. Okay, we can map those things to the two categories that I have told you people. Okay, this is what I meant by IT based on my experience. My 11 years of tenure I'm into the 12th year now. So in my 11 years of experience, this is what I understood about IT. Okay. So my slide is about ERP. What is this ERP? First of all, as we are into the Dynamics 365 related project, so we have to learn about this particular ERP, because our Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation product is an ERP product. Okay, so what does ERP stands for? ERP stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. Okay. So before explaining the definition of an ERP, I would like to take an example related to the business, and I want to explain you about the definition part of ERP. Okay. So the very frequent example I would like to take in my demo sessions is about an automobile industry called Maruti Suzuki. We all know about Maruti Suzuki, right? So on a very high level, if I have to answer it in a simple way, so it will be like they are a car manufacturing company. We can say that, and they are selling cars to their customers. So this is what we on a very high level, a very layman would answer in this way. But if you give a thought on that particular business of Maruti Suzuki, so they are manufacturing the cars and they are selling those cars to their customers. So different departments will be there in the Maruti Suzuki company, and those departments required some software assistance. So in what way? So let's discuss about that. So let's say the different departments that exist in the particular Maruti Suzuki company are: one is the purchasing team. See, there will be an R&D team who will work on the car design, and they will finalize one design. Okay. So, and then after, what are the raw materials that are required for the manufacturing of that particular car will be taken care by the purchasing team. So the purchasing team has to create the purchase orders for the raw materials. Raw material means the company will not, let's say if a company has a agenda of manufacturing 1 lakh cars in a particular year, so they will not purchase all the raw materials in one go. Okay, so in bits and pieces according to the need or according to the production cycle in a particular month, how many cars they are going to manufacture for that particular month, how much quantity of raw materials are required, accordingly they will procure. Because if they are ready to invest money and procure the raw materials for the whole year, they can still buy it, but they need to have such storage spaces available with them. Storing of those raw materials. No one will spend that much of amount on the storage spaces. So according to the need, the company used to raise the raw material related purchasing or purchase orders. Okay. So now when it comes to the purchasing, so here multiple things are there. Sometimes the vendor will fulfill vendor in the sense from the person supplier whom the company or from the organization from which the Maruti Suzuki is purchasing. So under this purchasing scenario, sometimes vendor will fulfill only partial quantity. They will not be fulfilling the complete quantity in one go. So in that time, the purchasing team had a requirement of a software where they want to maintain what are the items and how much quantity they have ordered against the purchase order, and what was the delivery date of those orders, and how much quantity vendor fulfilled and how much quantity vendor did not fulfilled. So in order to maintain all those details, they need a software assistance. Okay, same with the other departments. Like let's say now the raw materials are procured. So now inventory and warehouse management team come into the picture. They have to store the raw materials in proper way such that whenever there is a need in the production floor, they can move the items from the place where they have stored to the production floor. So here a proper segregation is required and a detailed understanding on where the item was kept, how much quantity was there, what was the item that was coming in and what was the item that was going out. Those details should be available, and there will be a necessity that each and every time how much stock was available against an item should be visible to the people in the organization. So here also inventory and warehouse management team required a software support for it. So let's say the other departments like production also require how many cars are productionized. So for those details, they also need a support for it. And the other departments like marketing, for whatever the marketing strategies that the company is going to apply for attracting the customers. So and how much money was incurred for it. So for recording all those things, they need a software support. For sales, obviously, which car was sold to whom. So and what was the customer data. So all those things they will maintain in the system. And also the finance department. So finance, again, in some companies, it will be segregated into accounts payable and accounts receivable. Payable in the sense the money that company is going to pay to vendors. The accounts receivable means the money that company is going to get from the customers. So for handling these things, so a software support is required for those teams as well. Okay. So service like this service, and then as these many people are there, they want HR team also will be there where they have to handle the employee skill set, and they have to maintain the employee skill set in the sense whatever the skill that with which the employee was coming in. So according the company has to utilize it. So that will be taken care by HR also, and employee leave and absence management that should be taken care of. So, and for the payroll team will be there because these many people are working and the people should get their salaries, right? So payroll team will also be there where they will be in need of a solution or a software support there. So, so our Dynamics 365 is an ERP product. Why it was called an ERP product? Because Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations has inbuilt function. Functionality in the sense, let's say if you take a product called mobile, so we call it with the name as feature. Okay, mobile features or something like whatever the application that we run on the mobile, we call it as a feature. This feature is there in this mobile. This feature was there. When it comes to the software product, we call it as a functionality. Okay. So Dynamics 365 Finance and Operation product by its standard nature will have the functionalities related to all these areas. It will be used for purchase management, sales management, HR management, payroll management, finance management, inventory management, service management, warehouse management. Okay, so for all these things, Dynamics 365 product can be utilized. Okay, so now the definition part of ERP is what does ERP will do? ERP, if you go and search in Google, it will be ERP itself is a software. To some extent, I agree with that. But what I believe here about ERP is ERP will provide a solution through a software platform. And that software platform will be a platform like Dynamics 365 or some other ERPs. So ERP, what does ERP will do? ERP will bring all the requirements of different departments that exist in a company. Requirements in the sense software requirements. It will bring all those software requirements to one particular software platform and it will provide a solution. Okay. Provide a solution through that particular software. This is what ERP meant by. So we are learning about this particular ERP definition now because ERP is, our Dynamics 365 is an ERP product. And Dynamics 365 has its functionalities related to all these areas. Okay. So I have a few things, and I told you people that what will be our role and after learning this particular course. See, we are here. In our particular course, we are going to learn the standard product of Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations under the area called Supply Chain Management, Trade and Logistics. We are going to learn the standard product. Why we are going to learn the standard product means the very good example that I will give here is, let's say you are requested to the very common app that we all know about is WhatsApp, correct? I hope you all know about WhatsApp. So if you consider that particular WhatsApp product, so if you want to sell that family, I mean, of course, WhatsApp, we are getting it for free, but we are not paying anything there. But the thing here is, let's say, let us assume if WhatsApp is a product that will be on money basis. Okay, and that is the software you have to sell the license to some other company. Then what you will do, you will get the requirement why this is a messenger related or a communication related platform. So it will be used for communication. So you will market that particular product in such a way you can share the images, you can share the documents, you can share the locations, and you can share you have the feasibility of audio call and a video call. You have the you have these features and all. You are going to explain it. So first of all, in order to explain that scenarios to any other customer, or let's say if a client come back to you with some question, is this feature available? So first of all, you need to learn and understand about that particular product. Then only you will be able to answer. Similarly, we are going to learn about this particular Dynamics 365 finance and operations under the area called supply chain management, trade and logistics, right? So we are going to learn what is this functionality that was available in D365 by its standard nature. Okay. Now, the thing here is there will be a software development lifecycle. By using this particular software development lifecycle, I would like to explain what are the responsibilities of a functional consultant in a particular project. Okay, so these are the 6 phases that we will have under a software development cycle: analysis, design, development, testing, deployment, and maintenance. Okay, so the functional consultant role will start from the area where, let's say, if a project was awarded to a particular company, functional consultant will go to that particular company, and it's the responsibility of functional consultant to discuss with the client why they are looking for the license of a particular product like Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. Then only you will be able to understand why customer is looking for an application, and you will be able to give you 100% in delivering the project successfully. Okay. So it all starts with analysis, and analysis in the sense, first of all, the functional consultant will come to know about the business of how the customer is handling the business. Okay. So once after knowing the requirements or how the customer is handling the business, then you will take the requirements. Requirements in the sense how their purchase order to be there in the system, how they are expecting, how their sales process to be there in the system as per their business process. So you will come to know about those requirements. Okay. So forget about Dynamics 365 for some time. So what does, let's say you all know about Gmail. So let's say the customer has given a requirement that I want to get a mailbox. Okay, mailbox in the sense not for a specific user. So they want to create that particular Gmail. Okay. So that the requirement is I want my users to have a login page. This is what the simple requirement that was given by the customer. Okay, so now the functional consultant has to analyze it and design it in a how the functional consultant will design. Let's say if you went to that particular browser, to that particular link, Gmail, you should be able to see 2 rectangular boxes on the right hand side in the middle. That on top of the first rectangular box, there will be a name called username, and on top of second rectangular box, there should be the password. And just below that, the sign-in option should be there, and just below that, the forget password and forget username option should be there, and those 2 options should be like hyperlink. Hyperlink means by clicking on that, you will be able to route it to, you will be routed to the other page. So username and password. Only the person who has entered the right username and password, only that person should be allowed to log in. In all the remaining cases, there should be an error prompted there. The user or password went wrong. Okay, and so this is how a functional consultant has to design and the login page. The requirement will be simple that they need a login page, but this is how you need to design. So all this task will be done by the functional consultant. Now, if you apply it to Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations, if you learn the standard product, what was there in the system, then according to the requirement that you heard from the customer, is it something doable from the standard product, or will it requires any customization? You will get an idea on it, correct? So that's the job of a functional consultant. And in this software development life cycle, again, and the testing also, the functional consultant will be involved there. Okay. So what sort of testing a functional consultant will do is, just now I explained you about the scenario of Gmail, right? That each and every design that you made will be a test case. Let's say the rectangular box is available or not. On top of it, username is available or not. And the person who has entered the right name and password is entered, is he or she able to log in, or any error was prompted. And if the password is entered wrong, error message is coming on. So all those scenarios will become the test cases there. Okay. And this development in the sense coding. Okay, let's say what was the functionality that was being designed at the back end. There will be a programming language to develop it, that will be taken care by the technical consultant. Okay. And in the maintenance part also of the software development cycle, so the functional consultant will be the primary contact for the client. Okay. So for the errors and for any sort of assistance that was required on the Dynamics 365, functional consultant has to play a major role there. And as I told you, functional and technical, if they work together, it will lead to a successful project. And I have a question. Why any person will look after the license of Dynamics 365 F&O? I mean, taking the license of Dynamics 365 F&O is not a simple task. I mean, some companies has to invest crores of money on it. Then only they will be able to get the license of Dynamics 365. So why any company will look after the license of the ERP product?
My understanding, like in the current scenario, data is everything. So if we have the data related to all the departments under one umbrella, we'll be able to analyze the data further and to make the business decisions, which is profitable to the company. So I believe that's the main reason that the company will invest a lot. I mean, not the small scale companies, like maybe the large scale companies will invest a lot in the major major players of ERP products. And they don't I believe that's one of the reasons.
Okay. See, for me, what Nidan said is right, but for me, I have another opinion on it. See, any businessman, any business person will look after a particular point or a scenario called ROI. ROI means return of investment. Okay. So if I am going to invest 1 rupee now on taking an ERP license, what was the benefit I am going to get there? Or else, in the other way, let's say the company is not, as per the sale that has happened, if the company is not going to get the revenue accordingly. So it means that some loopholes are there in the business where that money was, some people are taking the money without any entry in the system. Without any notice or such kind of things. Some loopholes are there in the business. So in order to avoid those things, people will digitalize everything. Okay. And each and every quantity that was moved out from the warehouse or a particular store, it has to be recorded in the system and a bill has to be generated for it. So every businessman will look after the return of investment. If I'm going to invest 1 rupee here, how much return of investment, in how quickly I'm going to get it. This is this software platform, they can't expect the return of investment there here, but they can avoid the loopholes and they may expect the actual revenues that the company is going to get. So for these reasons, usually people will look after for Dynamics 365. Of course, there are other reasons as well, but I feel from the finance point of view, this will be the primary reason. And better finances are possible only if they have a proper streamlined operations within the company or within the system. So that streamlined or proper operations are possible whenever we have a strict processes available in the system. So those processes we are going to learn how those processes are there by its standard nature available in Dynamics 365. Those things we are going to learn in our classes. Okay. So of course I have mentioned here that it is streamline their operations, make data driven definitions, etc., etc. These are all right. But this was, I mean, what I told you about Dynamics 365, that was the purpose of using the application. So far, what I explained you, so that was the purpose. And yeah, so what I'm going to cover here. So I'm going to cover about the purchase management, sales management, inventory management, and product management. I told you the Dynamics 365 is a vast product and it is like an ocean, right? So in that, we are going to learn about these things: purchases, sales, inventory, and product management. And when it comes to these 4 areas, we have 6 modules available in Dynamics 365. When it comes to purchases, we have accounts payable and procurement and sourcing. When it comes to sales, we have accounts receivable and sales and marketing. When it comes to inventory, we have inventory management. When it comes to product, we have product information management. These are the modules, we call it as, they where the functionalities related to the product will be available under this module. The functionalities related to the inventory will be available under this module. The functionalities related to purchase will be available under these 2 modules. The functionality related to the sales will be available under these 2 modules. That is what I'm saying. So these are the 6 modules. We have a curriculum for this. With the due respect to the curriculum that we have, we are going to cover about these modules in Dynamics 360 in our course. Okay. So just to give a clear-cut idea on this, usually this particular course, trade and logistics, in 99% of the people in the market, they call it as SCM. Okay. But supply chain management involves the warehousing and master planning as well. So there are free courses available in the market. If you want to become an expert on SCM, then you have to take the 3 courses. But you have to start with trade and logistics, because this starts from the basics of the Dynamics 365. Then after, there is no hierarchy here. You can take any of the course that was available.